This is a disclaimer for the podcast. Please be mindful and respectful of everyone's opinion on and off the podcast. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on the podcast are solely the speaker's own and not Aydepi's. The podcast may cover sensitive topics, including but not limited to suicide, abuse, violence, severe mental illness, incarceration, drugs, and poverty. This podcast is meant as a learning opportunity for everyone involved, and opinions expressed can change at any time. Thank you, and please enjoy the podcast.
So for those online, welcome once again. My name is Lillian. I am Aydepi's, one of Aydepi's board member. I am an educator, I'm an author. And today I'll be your host as we continue with this discussion that is geared towards zero incarceration.
Hi, my name is Bakita, and I am a peer leader at Aydepi. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm a peer leader at Aydepi.
Hey everyone.
Hey.
My name is Sam, and I'm a peer leader at Aydepi.
Hello everyone.
Hey.
My name is Fiona Okech. I am the Youth Director of African Young Dreamers Empowerment Program.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Beatrice Kedawuri. I'm the founder of African Young Dreamers Empowerment Program. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much. I hope you people have been watching what they're doing on the side of the truth. They are doing an amazing job. I've been following so closely. They're on YouTube. They've been posting on their Instagram handles. Please follow them and just see what they're doing. They're really educating us, you know.
Hi everyone.
Okay.
It's good to see everyone again and to see some new faces. My name is Stanley Kagwimo. I like to call myself a youth mentor.
Mobula Diaz is my name. I am originally from Angola and Aydepi. That's all. Thank you.
But my name is Lakeisha Phillips.
Again, I'm Tirza Idahosa.
My name is Jambi Gishiro, and probably one of the people that have been in this country for many years. I was born and raised in Kenya.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to see some faces again. Good to see new folks. So I'm Emily Johnson, and I am a project manager with King County Government. It's really great to see you all again.
Oh, thank you for being here. Our friends online, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is David Herrera. I am with the Federal Way Public School District. Hi, Lakeisha. Great to see you.
Hi, my name is Sine Wright Wilkins, and I work with David and Dr. Pfeiffer in Federal Way Public Schools. I am the Executive Director for the Office of Equity, and I'm a community member in addition to my role with the school system, community member, but also parent of a young Black boy, right? Similar to David, I am not from the Federal Way area. I'm originally from Washington.
I have thought about this. One thing that I wish King County was doing a little bit more, and something I'm personally working on, so Tears, I'm lobbing it over to you so maybe we can partner on this, was increasing, and I don't know if you know this, my little side project that I'm really invested in right now is increasing transportation for youth. So here in Federal Way, we currently don't have enough bus staff or funding to transport youth to sports.
Council meetings, you got to be there because when they say, well, we discussed it, we had a meeting about it. Well, if no one shows up and no one objects to it, they have every right to move forward with their agenda.
There isn't enough awareness yet out there to your community.
Yeah.
Because like Betty came over and she started the Aydepi. Then she, within 3 years, she plus the youth discovered the gap, which has been there 100 years plus. So that tells you something, that there's a lack of awareness in your community that needs to be done very exclusively. Maybe in schools, maybe in such meetings, there need to be more representation by people who are aware of things like diversion groups. Maybe they don't know what are diversion programs. Maybe they don't even know what are these alternatives that could be there apart from prisons, because all they have been accustomed to is the prison, jail. Apart from prisons, we have something else. that the state can offer, or King County can offer. We have these alternatives that can help our young people or our Black people be more proactive and productive, in the community. When she started a program of the after school program, I told her, one thing I know is that these students, they are kind of barred from engaging in certain co-curricular activities because there's only a specific group that is enrolled. So they fear the circumstances that happen in those rooms. So they go back home and so they just sit. So what she created, she has an after school program that she sponsors, and I wish such more programs can come up, whether we have these people have music, they have food, they have soccer, they have swimming programs, all these resources.
Actually try to reach, because these are our families, where are they? For me, I feel like a lot of our, especially, let me say, the Kenyan community, we have a lot of people, we have so many churches. Have we tried to maybe do partnerships with, and I get it, it's kind of tricky, especially dealing with the different religions and all that, but if we can try and penetrate those places, push this message, package this message about community and how these things are actually affecting us, because I believe that people, it seems like people don't have time, or they don't really create time. But look at, let's say, if we have a bereaved family, people get together.
Very fast.
Yeah, people get together. So these are spaces that I know we don't really want to use, someone's, a family that's, going through something to bring up, some of these things. But I feel like there's a way that we can package our, our message, whatever we're trying to do to the community, and actually penetrate the community and, pass our message so we can have more participation from our people.
The 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, the Constitution is talking about the equality. Is everybody equals in the United States? Are we treated the same way, despite that 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America? So the big problem is, the real problem is not the juvenile detention center, but the big problem should be identified in the roots. So what we are doing here is not to heal the roots, but we are trying to heal the branches. So we need resources somewhere, we need this somewhere. But for example, the one you are talking about, most immigrant African people, we don't care about our kids. We care most of the time about our jobs. We are competing. Hey, how much did you get last paycheck? I get, for example, 10,000 a month. So what about you? But if you work 16 hours, 22 hours a day, so what time do you have to share something with your kids? We never think about the roots. And the family, the roots of every community is destroyed just because we ran just after money. The system is built to keep some people in slavery. And if you read the 13th Amendment, it doesn't really abolish slavery, because it says except. It's except. That means if you commit a crime, the United States government is able to put you again in slavery. So take a time, read. We have to know the law. That's why last time I gave you a Latin expression that says, Nemo censetur ignorare legem. That means everybody is supposed to know the law. You can't tell the judge, no, I didn't know, that's why I act like this. But the judge knows the law. and he must sentence you according to the law, and he will put you in the jail or the prison. So we have to think twice before doing something. So we have to attack the evil from the roots instead of doing it from the branches.
So you were thinking what I'm literally, we can talk about everything else, but unless we get to the root cause, and the root cause is policies, procedures, and legislation. Nothing else is gonna change if you don't do that. Just his example, 13th, 14th Amendment. Even though it was a law, it still took several years before people can actually really vote under those laws. And just what? A year or two ago, Georgia no, now you can't bring nobody water, you can't bring them no food, they can't go to the bathroom, or they won't be able to vote if they step out of line.
Following last meeting's discussion in today's, we can all agree that we are far from being ready to close them up. Because closing them up will be adding to more problems. So as she just said, we might be trying to get a solution that this solution might be causing another bigger problem. So we feel, and I believe this focus group feels that the closing of juvenile is not there yet.
And the reason why I'm saying it is like this. If you work on putting husbands and wives, marriage counseling, therapy, marriage enrichment programs, which are better, teaching people how to communicate and be together, what a family means, because people don't have real things what a family is, because we destroyed the family. They don't know what a real family is. And putting dollars and cents around people being able to have home ownership and not all the restrictions, credit restoration programs, because half the people can't buy nothing because their funding is so distorted due to no fault of their own.
Aydepi has a really good team of youth leaders and the youth who are heavy and active participants, because these are people who can see, they can hear. They hear from us speak and they can see, yet they have the ideas. So I'm sure they are in a position, if only they are held and the resources are opened for them out there, and like this lady was saying, they are allowed to represent themselves, then they can change a lot. They can change a lot of how things work. Like, if the government can use the resources they have to have those centers in every city, like if you're saying, say Federal Way has a little, they can maybe, Tacoma, I think when we have one counseling place, I was going online, I was checking diversion centers. I was checking that, I was like, oh, Tacoma, but you can see the reviews of people. You can see somebody, my son was there, he got a lot of good help, he came out reformed. You go through, and when you look at the center, go to the reviews. Well, the reviews that are written there, most of the people, actually all the people who have put the reviews are white people. Yeah. So if we can have our people also included in this, it will help a lot.
So maybe another thing we need to ask ourselves as the community. I still think those resources are there.
Yeah.
I think we are the ones who are not applying for those resources, and you find out that because how many agencies are there in like Bedford or King County?
I think here is where we should start, because if we try to solve a problem, we have first to look at where we are and find if there is a problem.
Right.
So if there is no problem, we are trying to solve it.
Right.
So we just found the problem and now we are trying to solve it. And this is the peaceful way we can solve it, instead of fighting against the system. It will be hard for us.
Yeah.
A better place for a youth, for a kid, for a children, is the family, according to me.
Which is maybe at odds a little bit with what Lillian's proposing, that is separate from the family.
Yeah, it's his family. So try to work with the family a lot of times and take that children from detention center and bring back to their family. But before that, the King County should work a lot with the families. I know families don't have a really time for the kids over here, but with the law, you can just make a bill, talk to the family. The better place for your kid, for your children, is the family. And that's why I was talking about the global accountability. The family is responsible too. The government is also responsible. So if we make something like a bill of law to protect the children in committing the crime, I think it will be law. That's why the final is just change the system, protect, sustain more the families, and give them more resources, not only financial resources, but psychological resources, counselors, and a lot of things too. I think the King County should think about that and make it more real.
There are some programs right now that do counseling with both families and the young people to prepare them to go back home. And I think they are successful when a family fully commits to that. But we also have young people who maybe have already been disconnected from their family. Maybe they've been in the foster care system. But I'm hearing what you're saying and thinking about how do we support the family and not just the young person.
Yeah, not only the family, but even the community where
A person will be okay with, if you, let's say, burned my house and you go to jail for 20 years or whatever, that'll make me happy. That'll make me feel like justice has been served. For somebody else, it's going to be 5 years. So I feel like there needs to be some kind of some kind of reconciliation between the perpetrator of the offense to the victim, and that doesn't mean that they have to become friends or like buddies, but at least kind of like have that bridge whereby there's really everyone feels settled. Okay, this person harmed me, or maybe they harmed my family member, and they're coming back to the society. They're coming back to the same neighborhood. Like it needs to be clear that like there needs to be some kind of some kind of for lack of a better term, some kind of reconciliation between those two. Otherwise, there's still gonna be, and you might actually find the victim actually becoming the perpetrator.
Around it not being satisfying for someone to waste away in detention or incarceration. And other folks who have recently experienced that, they're still frustrated. They're still trying to figure out how to return to normal life. They're still trying to do all those things they're processing. So I think it really runs, it really depends. And Stanley, to your point, I think it depends on the person who's been harmed, how their needs are being addressed, what type of harm it was. Obviously, the loss of a loved one is really impactful, but loss of property can also be really impactful, right? So folks who've had their car stolen, maybe they couldn't get to work, maybe they lost their job, maybe they couldn't pick up their kid, so we know that harm does not just happen at one time, right? It continues to happen when it's left unaddressed.
What I just wanted to say is, I think I was listening to some of the solutions that came up, and I really liked them. But the only issue that I had with them is, for example, I don't know, the lady who was here before, I think she left. She said that one reason that we have had with the government is they usually just place this issue. They place the restorative justice systems already, and then they expect them to work rather than following up on them. So they don't end up helping people as much as we would like to. And the people placed in this restorative justice systems, I feel like most of them, or some of them, or even a small percentage of them, don't have the heart to do this work. So instead, it ends up being like a backed up system of people just like the system is there, like these alternatives are there, but for some reason they are not getting to the people themselves, and it just brings up a cycle of not helping people. So if there's a possibility we can employ, or the volunteers who come to work on those places are actually vetted and they are actually trained on how to deal with this situation, and not just trained once, but consistently being trained, consistently being checked on. If an issue comes up regarding injustices or hate crimes too, or human rights violations in these situations, they should be dealt with. Many people who are placed in the juvenile detention centers, they're usually offered resources up until a certain time, and which I feel like it is believed that you can help them until a certain stage and then let them go to the world, and then that also can increase like the rate at which they come back or they commit similar or even more dangerous crimes. So I feel like for example, those programs that are set up to reduce this number should actually be kept on longer, or even if that they can, like they should be evaluated frequently and checked up on frequently, so that they have that support system to not go back to, they do not go back committing the same crimes or even more dangerous crimes. Like this can also help reduce like the recidivism issue that we are having. I feel system like where they are taught, like they're put in this diversion programs for a certain time, and then they're left out to the world to figure out on their own. So them, for example, like the mental health evaluations, like they only train for a certain amount of time and then left out. But I feel like mental health is such a growing issue and is like not as simple as we would like it to be. And we usually tell ourselves like you can get healed off of mental health and something like that, but that is not the case. Like they need to be evaluated, they need to be reevaluated for a longer period, so it can help.
Yeah, which is a point there of vetting people, because as much as we talk about the support centers, the transitional centers, and also diversion centers, then it has to be something functional, as we said. Yeah, thank you so much, Fiona, for your input. We really appreciate you as our lead advocate. Our future is bright, because you're not holding the future, you're our future. So, and as you exit, I know you'll be looking behind you and see those people, those people of color who are looking upon you and looking upon the systems and feeling, oh, we can achieve these opportunities that are laid before us because the systems are barring us from, attaining them. But once all this is said and done, certainly I know this is something they will enjoy because of what you started. And we thank you so much, Miss Aydepi. She has been doing such a commendable job. We speak with Betty for long hours, and we don't talk about business. What we talk about is the youth. She has the youth on her tongue 24/7, on her lips 24/7. And I can tell you, she may never tell you this, because the other day I said, when someone is having a project, most people, if it's coming with good intention, in most cases we don't know how to blow our own trumpet unless somebody else sees us and gives us a pat on the back for being of the year. So we really appreciate